This is a demonstration of the HTF CCI Trend Line Break from TradeStrat. The HTF Trend Line Break is a modification of the indicator on the website that marks off CCI Trend Line Breaks, but this one will just show you the same thing on a higher time frame. I like to trade looking at multiple time frames, and sometimes it's easier just to look at one chart. So what I've created is a higher time frame version of the CCI Trend Line Break indicator. I've got a video on the website already detailing the CCI Trend Line Break. That's this indicator at the bottom with the arrows showing the break in the trend line. So I won't go into detail on that. I'll just show you what I've developed, which is a higher time frame version. So on the left side, we've got a 4,500 tick chart of the S&P E-mini 500. On the right side, I have a 1,500 tick chart of the same market, and I have the higher time frame CCI Trend Line Break indicator on. So basically what this indicator does is mark off trend line breaks from the higher time frame. If you notice here in the lower left, you've got an up arrow showing this trend line break down here. That gets marked off on your trading chart, either in text or arrows, and you can have an audio alert as well. Same thing up here when price is making a new high. We get the trend line break and a mark of that, and same thing down here at this next trend line break. So really useful indicator. In the lower time frame, I usually put on some support and resistance and the other CCI indicator to look for confluence in those areas. So here's another chart just showing the lower time frame. This is the Euro futures, and it's a 640 tick chart on the higher time frame and a 128 tick on the lower. So we're looking at the lower time frame chart now, and here plotted are the trend line breaks from that higher time frame. So it's just it just shows some nice areas. You know, it's not going to peg something exactly, but shows nice areas to consider getting into either a pullback trade or a reversal. I usually wait for some sort of pivot to form before taking the higher time frame signal. But a nice long here, a quick little short after that. I took this short at the high of the day here off of that signal, and price sort of bounced around after that. There's a few more opportunities, especially on the smaller time frame chart, to get in and get out with these signals. Works on any time frame, any market. Here's a 15-minute chart of Apple with a 60-minute higher time frame reference. Again, it doesn't always hit the turning points exactly. This one was early. This one may have been a little bit late, but it's also great to use your knowledge of technical analysis to, in this case, look at the wedge and the wedge forming on both of these situations, or you can have your support and resistance give you another reason to get in. This was not a valid trade because a pivot didn't form, but a couple nice trades here, a long, a short, a long down here. If he held overnight, that would have been a good trade. I didn't trade that one. Here's the Russell 2000 futures, 1 minute chart with a higher time frame 5-minute chart reference down here. So here's a situation where confluence is helpful in between the two indicators. Here's the higher time frame indicating a trend line break. Here's the lower time frame just indicating a cross between the average and the CCI. Nice trade there. Another one later in the day at 11:45. Price just traveled down a little bit, but you can catch little moves here for sure on the 1 minute chart later in the day. At 1500, 1515, another trend line break signal a little bit earlier, but if the signal occurs at the pivot or in the consolidation where I'm seeing the break, I will take that signal. So another nice trade. I'll go over some of the settings on the indicator now. You have the same inputs as you do on the CCI Trend Line Break. To access the indicator settings, you just right-click on your chart, select Indicators. So up here you have the CCI average length, the CCI length. You can have it either display text or arrows. I have it display text because my lower time frame has the arrows. The same filter here, you can filter out trades that happen near the zero line, a marker offset, so you can have a certain amount of ticks away from price that the marker gets printed. Pivot strength will allow you to choose how many bars it requires to form a pivot. A little bit lower, you've got audio alerts. You can select the actual alert that you hear or just use the default Ninjatrader alert and turn those alerts on and off. You can also select the color of the up and down arrow. And down at the bottom here is the higher time frame reference. So start here. This lets you use any period type, day, minute, range, second, tick bars, volume bars, better Renko bars, Renko hybrid bars, as well as the period. So this would be a 60-minute. You can change that to a 5-minute or a 1-minute, whatever you like to trade. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and that you find it useful in your trading.